Namaste, Babaji. So good to see you. Thank you so
Good to
much for
see you.
being here. So I feel what's going on around here is like half of the people that I know are completely in fear of this virus and everything going on. And a lot of people are trying to, are taking it a completely other way and trying to do some spiritual mumbo jumbo around it, saying it's not real and things are not really happening that way. And I feel like there's a balance. I feel like we have to apply our higher energies and our higher teachings and our higher learnings, but still mitigate and manage what's going on in our 3D reality. So what's the right answer? Like how do we manage this? Like how do we step above it yet still manage what's going on around us? And how do we share that with people who are the most polar opposites on both sides of that?
You see, one thing is important, that you need to be positive and then catch hold of the highest energy. The highest energy is all pervading, which is recognized as divinity. Get connected to that through your mind by prayers, and the meditation is the highest technique which can connect you to that divinity. Once that is done, you will see everything taking place on its own, things getting a turn on its own. An amazing highest level of energy is working. All we need to do is we need to get connected to that, and then we pray. Then those prayers will be answered definitely. So that is what is important. Otherwise, it can be quite confusing if we get involved into this positive, negative things. Just we need to be positive. Whatever that is needed presently, we must do that one. Like distancing, keeping distance and taking care of ourselves. So that is most important. Like Swamiji also used to tell, as long as you don't trouble the world, that is the greatest help. First thing is. So now also during this virus time, first thing you must protect yourself and keep yourself carefully so that you are not troubling anybody. So that is the greatest help now.
Thank you, Babaji.
Welcome.
Namaste, Babaji. Pranam. So nice to see you. Very happy to have your darshan.
Nice.
I just wanted to ask you that the quality of the meditation, particularly as this virus thing has progressed, especially in New York, the quality of the meditation has definitely changed. Now I feel I'm not able to sit longer time, but I'm sitting very shorter time, but it is going very strong for that very short period. But I want to sit longer time. Something is preventing me. I don't understand. How can I sort of remove that obstacle or obstruction? I'm trying to put in my effort, but
Well,
I'm
it is
not.
very good that the technically to go right is very important than the timing itself. Though it is happening into a shorter period, in that shorter period, you would have achieved much more than you would have achieved with less technical adaptation for a longer time. So now to go for a bit longer, a little bit willpower you have to apply. So when that time is over, it might give you an urge to get up, to sit down again, thinking that I will continue another 10 minutes. Then close your eyes. Then it will become tasteful again. Like that, you need to apply your willpower and pray to your Guru. The Guru's grace will descend. So that is how you can adapt. This is the only way. You have to practice. It will come. Don't get up.
Babaji, thank you.
Baba, I have one question and one thing I'd like you to comment on. The word attention, focusing the attention between the eyebrows, could you use the word awareness instead of attention? Focus your awareness between.
The word, what I have understood the language, when you pay attention, you become aware. Means that is why the attention is recommended, so that you can become aware of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Does
Sometimes,
it mean that awareness when you are paying attention?
Sometimes, though, it feels like you want to be just that awareness, and to focus it seems counterproductive.
No, you first pay attention. Once you gain the awareness, attention is automatically there, and awareness is what is needed. You just be there. You just be aware. That is all is needed actually. Before that only the attention comes. So once you gain that awareness, attention is automatically there, and you don't have to use that you have to pay attention anymore, because you are there. Means you have learned how to bake the bread, and now you have started baking the bread. You don't have to learn anymore. You just go on baking the bread.
So in a practical sense, then, if you're wondering about the awareness, then you need to focus your attention.
Yes. Otherwise, you don't have to bother about focusing. You are already there.
You're already there. Okay. The other thing, Baba, it's Easter Sunday. It's one of the two holiest days for the Christians. And there's a couple things in the New Testament that remind me a lot of what Shiva said to Swamiji after Swami had completed his tapas. And the basic message from Shiva to Swamiji when he asked, well, what would you like me to do? Shiva said that people are suffering because they've forgotten who they are, and to take this meditation, quiet, silence their mind, and they can be at peace. Well, there's I don't know if they interpret this the way, but we could, and I'd like to hear your comment. One is that the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God lies within. Seek it first, and everything else will be added on to you, given to you. And the other is be still and know I am God.
Yeah, they both are same actually. You see, when you seek the kingdom, that means that all pervaded supreme consciousness, that is our abode. So we have to abide in that self. So once we gain that one, we will realize that we have got everything. There is no more desire, no more need of anything else. Once you don't need anything, you are contented. Once you are contented, you are supremely happy always. So when you don't need anything. So that is what is important about this kingdom things also. And in the stillness, know that I am the God. Like in Viveka Chodamani commentary also I have written what Adi Shankara has said. When you come face to face in your consciousness, and when your consciousness is not into any type of imagination, know that existence as the truth, ultimate truth. So that is divinity. That is the real self. That is what you, me, all of us are.
Beautiful, Baba. So another one is that the Father and I are one.
Yeah. See, when you begin as the droplet. Once the droplet merges with the ocean, so the droplet and ocean are one and same. That's what the divine and the self are one and same. So beautifully Jesus put in such a beautiful language to tell that Father and I are one. For everybody, this is the same thing. You and the real self, you and the divinity are one.
Thank you, Baba. Beautiful.
Hi, Baba. Namaste. An Indian philosopher once said that finite is the cost of infinity and death is the cost or price of immortality. And I wondered if you could elaborate on that comment, if true.
When anything becomes troublesome, when we recognize there is a problem, So we would like to find a solution. So when there is death, that imagination is there that I am going to die. So that becomes a problem. We don't want to die. So then we try to find a solution for that. So that gives the cause for you to become independent or to realize your real self, what it is, immortality, what the eternal existence. So that's how this becomes the cause. If there is a problem only, you will try to sort out the problem and you will gain that happiness. Say, if in this world, if there was no problem at all, nobody would have bothered about God, nobody would have bothered about self-realization, because this world would have been happier for them. That's why the divine has not allowed anybody to settle down peacefully in this world. You try to sort out one problem, another crop up. That's how these things become a cause for you to go back to the real self. That's what Lord Shiva said to Swamiji. People have forgotten about themselves. That is why they are miserable. They are miserable. That is why they need to know about themselves.
Hello, Bob. Thank you very much for doing this program for us. I wonder if you could talk to us about death, about suffering at the end. If you are dying, whether you have control over how you die.
If we are able to control our mind by the practice of deeper and longer meditation, then there would not be any suffering. Actually, it is the mind which suffers. When the mind gets connected to this world, connected to the objects, connected to the body, so then the suffering happens. Once we are able to release our mind, raise above these duality levels and go back to the self, so then the suffering also ends actually. And then death becomes so beautiful. All that happens is that simply you lose conscious of this world and regain conscious of your real self. It's a return journey. That's why Saint Kabir also tells, for a person who has gone back to his home, why should we cry? That's what he says about a person who is dead. So when we die, we go back to our real self. So meditation is a practice how to die, actually. We try to silence our mind. That's what happens. An unconscious happens. So at that time, if the mind is totally controlled, that is final, liberation. If the mind is not controlled, then a rebirth, a reincarnation happens based on the desires which form the intensity of thoughts. So that's how death is actually beautiful. But the thought or imagination about the death may become dreadful if the mind imagines in that way, negative way. But the death itself is not bad. Itself is very beautiful. Only the imagination that we cling on to such a thing, okay, death is very bad, what will happen to me? I don't know what's going to happen, whether we'll come back, we are not going to come back, whether we will be with our own people whom we have made as our people in this world. So many hundreds and thousands of thoughts keep coming. Because of these things only, suffering happens. Once we overcome and know what the truth is, all suffering ends.
Hello, Babaji. It's so wonderful to see you again.
Hi, wonderful.
I guess my question is two parts. In my deepest meditation, a lot of things disappear. But one thing that consistently appears is I get the sensation that I'm being observed. And I'm not sure if it's my inner self observing myself somehow, or if there's consciousness involved. So that's one question. Is I don't really know what that is, but I'm okay with it. It happens. And probably over the last 2 or 3 years in meditation, it doesn't happen every day, and it doesn't happen necessarily in meditation, but overall I keep getting messages in one form or another that, that I think we're all supposed to share our inner light with the world for people who are in the dark. And at first I was like, well, I don't know how to do that, so that's not for me. It's kind of resistance. And now I've accepted that that really could be a thing, but I don't really know how to share the inner light. So I was wondering if you had any thoughts about that.
Well, the first question was about many things disappear and one thing consistently remain, that you are being observed.
Yes.
So that thing that which you are thinking that is observing you is actually you. You are trying to observe yourself when other things disappear in the mind. Till then, mind will be observing only those things that is appearing in the mind due to imaginations. Once they all disappear, you are being observed means just before the actual experience that you will have, that you are becoming aware of yourself, that awareness is coming. Before that, this is happening to you as if you are being observed. So that being observed is nothing but you yourself. So this is one thing. Other things are messages coming. We get excited generally when we get smaller things in this world. But there is always a higher and highest thing. Once you touch that one, that base, and everything else becomes very trivial. That's what you have to look for. Means silently you continue meditating on the path. Try to ignore about the messages. Do not allow yourself to become excited so that you can progress further. You are progressing well, very well.
Okay.
You simply go ahead until total silence, until all messages stop coming. Then that is the real message you will get there. And then you will be able to share that truth to each and everyone, whomever you come across.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Baba.
Hi. How wonderful.
Nice to see you. It's always nice to see you. It feels to me like we're on the battlefield at Kurukshetra. I know the Bhagavad Gita is like a daily experience of good and evil on a personal level, but it feels like the whole world is at a point of being on the battlefield. And some great things are happening. We're more appreciative of each other. We're kinder to each other. People are doing shopping for strangers. And large meditation groups are appearing online with hundreds of thousands of people on. And so people are waking up to that something's not right also. Would you care to comment on that?
Yeah, you see, years ago when we had a big tsunami, at that time also I conveyed, this is a lesson divine is teaching us. Humanity, you all need each other. Learn to live for each other. But generally what happens, whenever there is a big trouble, everybody try to come together because everybody is in need. Everybody is scared. Everybody is panicked. What will happen? So then they start considering about each other. Till then, they don't bother. So once the problem is over, if everything becomes normal, then people will become selfish and forget about others. Again, the same thing will happen. Humanity will simply learn to live for themselves and against each other. You see, I saw a news today morning that Yemen was in the midst of a big war, conflict for a long time. But due to this COVID virus, there is a temporary respite for the people of Yemen, common people, because that the war has stopped. Everybody is busy with the virus. Everybody is scared about the virus. So once this virus goes, they will start fighting again. So that is what is sad part of it. We must learn a lesson that we all need for each other. Now definitely very good things are happening. People are helping strangers. Everybody is trying to help each other. Unknown people are helping unknown people. These things are happening now. So we should be thankful to the virus then, which has made us do like this and taught us these lessons. But let us hope that we will not forget these lessons even when this virus goes away and gives us better things to think. That's what we always pray. So it is sad that we needed this virus to remind us that we all need each other. Without this virus also, so then we could have avoided that Kurukshetra, what you were talking. This world is made up of dualities always. So we can avoid that Kurukshetra. All humans could live forever, happily for each other, because Earth always have had enough resources and will have enough resources to meet the need of humanity, but not its greed.
Greetings, Babaji, everybody.
Wonderful, nice.
Good to hear your voice today in these challenging times. I've done a lot of bhakti devotion and chanting in my practices, and I have a question for you. The prayer that you say at the end of the meditation on the app, could you speak a little bit about the meaning of these words a little bit?
At the end of the meditation, I normally tell Brahmanandam, I think. That is about the Guru. It's about a self-realized Guru. Brahmanandam means he would be enjoying such a happiness which is beyond anybody's imagination. Parama Sukhadam. Parama means supreme. He would be enjoying the happiness which is supreme, highest. Beyond that, there is no other happiness. Kevalam Jnanamurtim. He is the knowledge personified. Means he is in that awareness for which everybody is looking for. Dvamdvatitam. He is above, risen above the dualities of this world. Neither good nor bad. Neither happiness of this world nor unhappiness of this world can bother him. He is in supreme peace. Gagana Sadrusham. Gagana is sky. His mind, his consciousness, as pure as the pure sky, space. Tattvamasyadi Lakshyam. His attention means he is always into that awareness. He is, in other words, he is always into that awareness of the self. He doesn't drop. Ekam Nityam. He is all alone in himself. There is no second existence. He has become one with that ultimate truth. Vimalam. He is composed, at peace always. Achalam. Unmoved. Nothing can disturb him, confuse him, because he has experienced the truth of existence. Just like I have told in my classes, when you have seen me, met me personally, when you go out, mention to your friend that you met Babaji, if such a person tells there is no such Babaji, you are telling a lie, you won't be confused because you are experienced. In the same way, the master has experienced the ultimate truth. So even if the whole world says no or refuses, makes fun of him, he will not be confused, unmoved. He is above the trigunas, Sattvika, Rajas and Tamasika. About these trigunas, Adi Shankara tells, mind has the capacity to imagine. This imagination quality is to be considered as the Sattvika, a good quality. As long as you just know that you have to imagine, you can use it to run this universe, to run your life, to achieve things. But you should not consider whatever you imagine as the final truth, and don't become stubborn. That's what the mind is likely to become, stubborn. Rajasika, that is the second, a little bad. So that's what Rajasika is named, because generally a king who is all powerful, whatever he thinks, it is the right. He will stubbornly, he will become arrogant in that. So that is why if anybody tries to believe whatever they imagine as the only truth, that is Rajasika. And now Tamasika, the bit ugly. When you imagine, as long as you know that you are only imagining, you are all right. But if you forget that you are imagining, and when you are thinking that whatever you are thinking is the fundamental reality, you create somewhat ugly situation for yourself in this world. Like when you go out of the home, you forget to come back to your home. So that is what is ugly situation. A guru, a self-realized master would have overcome all these three effects. His consciousness is ever silent one. It would have overcome all imaginations, and no more stubbornness, believing or whatever imagining as the truth, because he has seen the truth, what it is. So to such a Sadguru we prostrate. That's what the meaning of this shloka normally I recite at the end of the meditation.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you very much, and blessings to you, Babaji, and your family and everyone on here. Thank you.
So it's so wonderful experience, and this video was very clear. All the voices, questions were very clear, enabling me to answer properly without any confusion. So wonderful having you all with us. Have a nice day. Have a continuous nice day.